Hey, and welcome to the Vol Vault podcast. I'm Starla, and it's been a hot minute since I did an episode. I apologize for that. The last one was the national championship game for baseball, so it's been about a year and a half. Yeah, it's been a minute. So if you'd be so kind to like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We just do this for fun. I'm not trying to get famous or anything like that. I just like to talk sports. And as an anonymous texter told me last night, that's why I'm single, because I spend too much time watching sports. So if you're out there and you're listening to this anonymous texter, uh, let yourself be known, you filthy animal. Tell me who you are. Anyways, with me today is really great basketball mind, close friend of mine. If you're watching this, you can see he has horrible taste in clothing. If you're listening, I'll tell you that he is decked out in some Duke attire, and all the Tennessee fans listening, I apologize for that. But this is George Hooks. George, thanks for joining me.
Good to be on.
All right. I guess let's just get right into it. So, um, if you're watching, listening, whatever, we're not going to go through the entire top 25. You can look that up, but I will tell you that there are, six Big 12 teams, six Big 10, six SEC, three Big East, three ACC, and Gonzaga. So, and I don't even know what conference are they?
I guess that would be the.
I don't
I'm not even sure.
even know.
West West Coast or something like that.
Yeah, I mean they usually schedule pretty aggressively, so to make up for that conference, but
I just call it the Gonzaga versus St. Mary's Conference. That's what it is every year.
yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we are planning on doing for all you listeners, we're going to break down the main conferences. We've got a few little goodies. George has some info on some smaller conferences to watch. I got a little bit of stuff there. We'll go through some impact transfers at the end, new coaches to watch, player of the year candidates, and we'll give our final four. Although I'm not at all locked in on my final four, so. I think one thing that's really, really interesting, and it's not going to change anytime soon, probably will just keep staying the same or getting worse, is when you go through all these rosters, it is mind blowing the roster turnover. The transfer portal has gone wild, and NIL, of course, has impacted that, but there's so many teams with like one returning player that played 2 minutes last year or something like that. Like it's wild the way that these teams are just with that being said, I don't know how they could do a top 25 really. I mean, I think we have no clue what it's going to look like at the end. Don't you think?
I'm. I think they might be just doing it like they do the NBA draft. Just pull the balls out of a
Yeah.
box or whatever.
Yeah.
Because one thing I've noticed this year, just going through a lot of the small conferences, their rosters are like depleted.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
all freshmen, sophomore, rebuilding it, which that's what a lot of the conference coaches in those small conferences said they're doing. That they're just building teams up for to be plucked.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
enjoy it for a couple years, then they're gone.
Kind of like just like little farm leagues, farm teams or whatever. But it does make sense because of that how where your top 5 to 10, really, really top five of the preseason AP poll. I mean, Purdue, they're bringing back 49 points a game. Um, and they brought in Oscar Clough, um, who averaged 17.6 last year. So I mean, they have a lot of points returning. Houston, you know, they lost Crier and who they lost another big player, but they've got Uzon back, they got Tugler back, they got Emmanuel Sharp back. They've got two top 20 ranked freshmen coming in. So like that makes sense to me. Florida, their entire front court's back. UConn, they've got three returners. Actually, Solo Ball's a guy that I think we should probably watch throughout the year. And the only one in the top five that didn't bring is St. John's, and he pretty much cleaned house. He's like, I'm making shots this year, period. So, anyways, let's jump in. You want to start us off with the ACC and tell us all about it?
ACC, it's gonna be top heavy again. Uh, I think by the end of the year, your two traditional powers will be 1 and 2. Of course, I'm Duke. They're gonna be my pick. Whether it doesn't matter. If we got the worst roster in the league, I'm picking them. But that's kind of a joke. But seriously, we've definitely got the deepest roster in the league. And as bad as I hate to say this, Carolina will be back this year. Uh, they added Henry Vesser from Arizona. We've dealt with him last 2 years, played him home and away. He lit us up.
Mhm.
Even last year, it was hard for us to handle him as big as we were. Uh, Seth Trimble, I know he's been that Hubert's got a luxury of him. He's got to build and develop, and it's his time to lead and try to rise to the occasion, which just what I've seen from him in their preseason and exhibition games. He's looked a lot better, and their freshman, Caleb Wilson, is amazing. He, I don't want to say on Cooper Flag status, but he's right there. He's very explosive, definitely a top 5 potential NBA draft pick. Louisville, they've loaded up.
They spent
Isaac
like
McNeil.
10 to 15 on that roster.
Uh, what was that?
Louisville spent 10 to 15 on their roster is what I've
Uh, well, they brought in. He loves shooting, and they brought in more shooting. The kid they got from Xavier can flat out light it up, and of course Isaac McNeely from Virginia. I mean, he's a knockdown shooter. And this is going to be the interesting development for the next few years. NC State, of course, new coach. You all are familiar with Will Wade. Uh, he's loaded up with the transfer portal, and of course, he's already talking smack. Uh, they've kind of got. I don't know if they was kind of disrespected. I think they're a top 25 team. They was left right at that 26 to 28 mark. He's already running his mouth about that, but the guy can flat out coach. One of his big transfers, Ben Allen Lubin, we dealt with him at North Carolina. He's more of an undersized post, but he can get up and down the floor. Uh, then the Texas Tech transfer they brought in, a lot of people have him number one transfer in the portal. Uh, Kind of a sleeper team out of the ACC, which they got a luxury a lot of teams don't have, is Notre Dame. They're returning two guards that's been there for several years. Marcus Burton is liable to be your ACC Player of the Year. He's an undersized guard. He kind of reminds you a lot of RJ Davis, uh, kind of the same way he plays. He's a little bit more aggressive going to the hole, though. Then Braden Shrewsbury, coach's son. That's all you need to know.
hmm
Coach's son always plays I mean, as hard as they can. They know what's going to
They're
happen after the
smart.
game. If they, yes, very. SMU, uh, they returned their big three, but it looks like they've loaded up in the portal too. And it must be something about teams from Texas being physical. They've kind of got that Houston, Baylor edge to them as far as just getting up in your grill, bumping you. Virginia, they're kind of they could show some potential, but of course they had the whole situation last year. Coach retiring just out of the blue. Looks like they're set to go, and he's pretty much had to build a roster from scratch.
So how you feel
We'll see
that's
how.
Brian Odom, right? How you,
Yes,
yeah. No, that's good.
and then this one touches close to home for Duke, Miami. Ja Lucas, we lost him as far as a coach. He was our associate head coach. Of course, before Duke, he spent time under Calipari at Kentucky, and rumor was he was doing a lot of Cal's recruiting for him.
Hmm.
And that is more than likely true because the first thing he did when he took over the Miami job, he took Shelton Henderson from Duke, which he's a 5 star. We was hoping to have him, but he'll do well there. Uh, as far as my player year prediction, and I've already mentioned Marcus Burton from Notre Dame, and I'm gonna throw Cameron Boozer in there. The guy is a beast. He'll potentially have better numbers higher numbers than Cooper Flagg, point wise, rebound wise, block wise. Definitely rebound wise. I've not seen anything like him rebounded. I mean, he's like a Rodman type. Newcomer of the year, that'd be between Boozer and Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson will score some points for North Carolina this year. My sleeper player in the ACC, Shelton Henderson from Miami. I mean, he's an NBA type potential. Liable to be a top 15 pick after this year. More than likely, he'll come out. That seems to be the new thing. 1 year, maybe two, and you're done. Uh, Kind of a surprise team that's not getting any love out of ACC, Syracuse. Uh, they took a tough transfer from Georgia Tech, Nathan George. It seemed like Nathan George, their point guard, been at Georgia Tech for 8 years, which now he's moved on to Syracuse, and he's kind of a thorn in Duke's side for several years.
Yeah.
Once you get past that 7-8 spot in ACC, it kind of falls way off. Wake Forest, just because of their coach, he's always gonna have them ready to go. But the only downside to that now, you can't really start rebuilding at conference time, and that seems to be what he's done the last couple of years. Which they've got hit hard the last couple of years with the transfer portal. Of course, they lost their best player a couple of years ago, or last year to Kentucky. Uh, and it just the ACC is starting to get plucked by other conferences.
Yeah. I mean, money wise, I wonder how you all, I think just because of football, SEC and Big Ten has so much money coming in with football, I think that hurts you all, NIL wise and stuff like that. But we'll see. All this stuff could change with rev share though. We got rev share starting, so
Well, they've been a rumor trickling around the last couple of years. Of course, a lot of these conferences now, teams, you'll have different conferences for football than you do basketball. Of course, Notre Dame's a prime example. They play every sport, and the ACC football still independent. They've been rumored that with St. John's, UConn, Creighton, a lot of them potentially joining with the ACC for basketball only in a few years.
hmm,
Uh, that would be very interesting because, of course, the Big East area is loaded. Which how many teams did you say they had ranked in the top 25?
three.
And I mean that's impressive compared, because the ACC, Big Ten, Big 12 has been dominating it.
Yeah. Well, one thing about the ACC, I think y'all are finally, you got what, four teams in last year or something?
Yes.
I mean, I think y'all are finally like investing in coaches. You know how I feel about Hubert Davis. I don't feel like he's that great of a coach. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I wonder how much longer he has. But bringing Will Wade in, Ryan Odom, John Lucas, just it feels like the ACC as a whole is like, hey, we're not going to suck this year. Man,
Well,
you got like I've got Duke, Louisville, Clemson. I feel like Clemson, um, they went heavy portal, didn't they?
Clemson lost pretty much a whole roster that seriously had been there 5 and 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna look weird not seeing PJ Hall out there
Mm-hmm.
and a couple more. I mean, it was amazing how many years like it seemed like they were there.
And then the
Then,
Shefflin,
yeah, Shefflin, he tried to get another year but was denied.
yeah.
And I think he actually, if I remember reading right, he tried to walk on the football team and got denied a year of eligibility.
No, I think he played, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I hope he didn't because I guess you know what happened to their football team yesterday.
Yes, I do. How happy were you
Mhm.
about that? For anybody that doesn't know, Duke beat Clemson. I don't know how y'all beat them. I mean, not how as in that they're better, but like in what way? Was it a last second anything? Or I know the score was.
Uh, it was a shootout, which we got jumped up on them 21-7 first quarter and kind of messed around. That's Duke's MO in football. We either take the first quarter off or second quarter off.
Yeah,
But it'd been the last time Duke had beat Clemson at Clemson. Guess who their offensive coordinator was at Duke?
I don't know.
The old ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Ah, wow. Well, I know nobody, no offense, but I know nobody listening wants to hear about Duke football. So,
We are in the ball vault. I really don't
yeah,
blame them.
yeah. Okay, let's jump over and talk about the SEC. Not a lot of new coaches. Sean Miller is at Texas. Bucky McMillan, we get to see Bucky Ball in the SEC, and of course Stephen Pearl, which was uh, a shock to me. Maybe that was all planned. I don't know. I've got the SEC with seven pretty much for sure tournament teams, and I've got seven more, which obviously just seven more with question marks for me that could be bubble teams. Of course, they won't all, we're not going to get 14 in. We got 12 last year. I'm guessing eight to nine maybe this year. And that's if some of these teams, there's just a lot of question marks all over the country. But I'm just going to kind of go in alphabetical order. Bama's ranked 15 in preseason. They brought Fallon and Holloway back, but, Sears is gone, and he's been a staple in that program for a long time. Grant Nelson is gone. Um, they picked up some transfers that can score, but you just never know how a team's going to do when they lose somebody that was as important to their program as Mark Sears was. Of course, Nate Oates is a good coach. Hate to admit it, hate Bama, but I definitely have them in the tournament. Arkansas, I mean, they brought back a lot of, like, they've got Brazil back, Wagner, Knox. Nick Pringle transferred there. He's a good player. I'm sure you remember him. And they've got a five-star Darius Acuff, who was the number five player in the country. It's Cal. They're ranked 14 in preseason. Last year they struggled a little bit, but then knocked off St. John's in the tournament. So, they had one of our old players, Jonas Adu. He's gone. They've spent big because it's Arkansas and it's Cal. We'll see. I mean, I definitely have them in the tournament. Auburn, they're ranked number 20 right now. I have them as a questionable tournament team, like maybe a bubble team. I may be completely off on this. They have Pettiford back, but that's about it. They got Elijah Freeman, the kid from LMU, um, who had like 18 and 8 at LMU. He's taken a major step up. I think he'll be fine. He was highly valued in the transfer portal. We wanted him. They got a couple of four stars, some up transfers. They got a kid from Texas Tech and from UCF. They scheduled hard in the non-con, but Bruce Pearl's gone, and you just have to wonder um, how it's going to work with Steven. I don't think anybody knows, so we'll see. I mean, I've got them as a bubble team. Florida and won the national championship last year. They brought back their entire front court, who are guys that are all 10 feet tall and can shoot. They got Hawk, Condon, Chinaloo. I don't know how well he can shoot, but I think that's going to be interesting because they've got Boogie Fland from Arkansas.
Okay, how many years and how many teams have Boogie Flan been a part of?
Well, I think just Kentucky, Arkansas, and now Florida, but he's just
Okay,
making his way around the SEC. I'm wondering if he's going to come here next. I've not been overly impressed with Boogie Flan. Um, Maybe it was the teams I think one year he was hurt pretty much the whole year, and I feel like he was hurt at least through non-con at Arkansas last year. I may be wrong about that, but he's had a lot of injury. And then, the big guy that everybody talks about, big transfer, Xavier Lee from Princeton. I think that's somebody they're very excited about to put at their point. I don't know. I mean, I just think again, how do you know? Like, yeah, there'll be a force down low, but like you just never know. They lost, Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin. Who was the other guard they lost that was really, really good? Um, I can't.
I'm not sure. I know exactly who you're talking about. They had that situation happen in the tournament. You always want to happen. You've got to have guards get hot. stay
Hmm.
hot for the tournament. Guard plays, wins the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know how, if you rely on Boogie Flynn. I think they do have some depth. I don't know about as deep as last year. I feel like last year they were pretty much the deepest team in the country. But yeah, we'll see. There are three preseason. Kentucky, I mean, they spent as much on their basketball roster for 15 players as we spent on our football roster at Tennessee. I mean, $22 million is what I read. Yeah, it's hard to say for sure is what I read. Always back. They just collected a bunch of SEC players. They got Aberdeen from Florida, Diabate from Bama. Okay, so maybe that's the only two. But they got, transfers from Pitt, Tulane. They spent a lot of money, but they should be more balanced. They got a more balanced roster this year. They addressed their defensive issues that they had, but they also brought in shooters. So they got an Arizona State transfer. I'm not sure his name. Who is supposed to be really good, but he's coming off a knee injury, so probably won't see him till conference play. But yeah, I mean, Kentucky's going to be good. I even went so far as to put those jerks in my Final Four. Again, it's another one of those things we'll see. They've pieced together a roster, but it seems like Mark Pope has pieced together it's a good roster on paper, and it seems like they kind of fit together. Uh,
Well, last year, if you remember, he pieced together a roster, but the only thing, probably 80% of it was small conference players.
yeah,
That could be scary because at times Kentucky, I mean, they was top notch.
they beat
They
us
did
twice
have,
last year.
well, they did have some. What was the forward's name? The one they got from Wake. I can't think of his name now, but yeah, he had some back issues. I remember he had back issues at Wake Forest too.
Mm.
But yeah, that could be scary. Mark Pope piecing together a SEC roster because I mean he seems like the type of coach that can get his guys run through a wall for him.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of laughed when they hired him. I think we all did, just because of that stupid video he put out, the CATS video. But they should be good. I mean, you spend that much money, you should be good. You know what I'm saying? Like they should be. Of course, we saw Texas spend a lot of money on their football roster and they're starting to get it together, but they were not good at the beginning. Um, Mississippi State, I've got as a borderline tournament team. Chris Jans is a good coach. They've got the kid back, Hubbard, that was so good last year. They got some decent transfers, and they're bringing in a pretty good freshman class. So I've got them as a borderline tournament team. Kind of the same with Missouri. They return quite a few. They've got your guy from Duke, Mark Mitchell, but they lost Bates. And do you remember the big white dude grill that could shoot the lights out? He's gone. So I think they'll probably take a step back. But I mean, they were good last year. They beat Bama when they were number four. I feel like they upset somebody else really big. But then they would beat a top five team and then they would fall on their face the next game. So definitely inconsistent last year. I don't know that that changes this year, but I've got them as a borderline tournament team. Oklahoma. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go through a lot of these because there's a lot of really good teams in the SEC. Again, Oklahoma returns, a couple guys. They have Nigel Pack from Miami. Um, They've got Darian Reed from Bama. He was a top 15 recruit. He just couldn't get on the floor that much at Bama. I don't know how great their coach is. It's just kind of a modge podge. Like he's definitely just pieced his roster together. Some of it don't really make sense. Like it's kind of like he was just taking whoever he could get. One thing, they play nobody in the non-con. Um, they're playing seven teams that are ranked 250 to 300 in Kim Palm and they're non-con. So they're not ranked. There's not any way they're going to be ranked, but they could go into January undefeated. So that's something to watch for them. They've not been great so far in the SEC. Ole Miss, Chris Beard is a good coach. I don't like him. He's a good coach. AJ Stores is there. Remember him? They only have one returner. Malik Diaz back. Um, They got some in-conference transfers. They got a guy from Kentucky and from LSU, so I've got them in the tournament. South Carolina, I think I'm the only person maybe in the country that is saying that South Carolina could be a tournament team. Michie Johnson is back. He left. He came back. He's like, you know what? I really liked it there. I'm going to try that again. The Studi's back. Now, those are really the only two probably the only two players they have that are going to be that good at all. But last time Michie Johnson was there, they won 26 games. So, they don't play anybody in the non-con. They could very easily be undefeated in January, like they really could be. I don't know. Oklahoma may not be, but they very well may be. I don't know who they got for their ACC opponent, but I feel like it was somebody that's not good, like maybe like Boston College or something like that. They're picked last in the SEC. So,
That's what I was wondering about when you're
yeah.
sitting here building them up. I was like, kind of looking at what they were projected, and something we don't know.
Well, I just think it's interesting. I think it's going to be interesting.
That'd
Uh,
be like me picking, I don't know, like California to make a run in the ACC.
it could happen. Okay, Tennessee. Oh, brought back our entire front court, added some pieces. We got Jacoby Gillespie, from Maryland. We got Mari Abrams from La Tech, Jalen Carey from Vanderbilt. Of course, we have, the big freshman Nate Ament, who ended up being ranked number one. My big question, I think we're always going to get points from Nate and from Jacoby. We got to have a shooter. Who's our shooter? You saw when Duke and Tennessee, scrimmaged each other. We need a set shooter. I'm hoping that Ethan Berg or Amari Abrams can emerge as that. Um, because you can't just always drive the ball and shoot mid-range. Like you've got to have a three-point shooter. I was very disappointed in our post players in the scrimmage against you guys. I just, we got to get points out of those guys. Cam Boozer kicked our butts. He had 23 rebounds, I think. How many of those were offensive? Like 10?
Uh, yeah, it was double digits both ways,
Yeah.
offensive and defense. Which one thing I will say about that game, I think both coaches, I mean, it's an exhibition game. Both coaches was going in kind of different approaches. I think Barnes was trying to work some players around and see what he had. Shire kind of already knows what he has, and I mean, we start out of the gate. Our non-conference schedule is brutal. Shire's running a set lineup, which one thing's gonna give us problems if we get a big in foul trouble. We're done because
Mm.
our only big off the bench is actually injured right now. He's probably out at least 2 more weeks, but I think Tennessee, Gillespie needs a green light. Just
I think
he's
he'll have one.
Yeah, he's gonna have, which I know it was an exhibition. I think that's why he didn't have so much of a green light. He's gonna have to put up some shots.
Yeah.
Uh, I think you all got enough like stretch post players to cause some problems for people.
Yeah.
There's gonna be games you don't hit. I mean, we've not started hitting threes yet. I mean, like we should. We
Mm.
did the same thing last year. Our shooting situation this year similar to last year's, and we just not started hitting them yet. But I think Tennessee will be all right. Big bodies goes a long way, especially in ACC play, because you've heard me harp on it all the time. There's a big difference between officiating in ACC and ACC. ACC, Big 12, similar officiate.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, it's bully ball. That's what it is. And if they don't
Quit
call it, it's
crying,
not a
George.
foul.
Quit crying. Quit
It's
crying.
not a foul if they don't call it. I understand that. I mean, Flip still has a scar under his eye
Let
from the
me see if I
Tennessee
can
game in the
find
tournament.
some tissues around here somewhere.
Please do.
Yeah, I mean, we scheduled, I feel like decently well. We play Rutgers, Houston. That's gonna be a good game. Syracuse in the ACC Challenge, Illinois. I don't understand why we're not playing Illinois in Knoxville because we went to their place last year. I have no clue. I think it's like in Nashville or something. And Louisville, we play Louisville again. We kind of we beat Louisville really good last year. I don't know that that'll be the same. We play them at home, so if we make it through this kind of unscathed, we should have a pretty. Right now, we're ranked 18th. We should have a pretty good ranking in January. And then, of course, we'll have lots of opportunities for quad one and quad two wins once we hit conference play. So I don't really know what to think about this team. I really don't. Like, I think it's Rick Barnes, and we're going to be good. We're always going to be good under him. Um, it's just hard to say. We Sweet 16 and two Elite Eights over the past 3 years, but a lot of people speculate that maybe Jacoby is an upgrade in skill from Zakai Ziegler. You can't replace Hart though, and sort of like with Bama losing Sears. I mean, Zakai and Jamai, those are just guys that have been the heart and soul of this program for the past 4 years, and it's just going to be hard to replace. You can upgrade in talent, but some things, those intangibles, are just too hard, to replace. I don't know how we don't take a step back. I think a lot of people are more confident in this team. I mean, it's not that I'm not confident in them. There's just a lot of question marks for me with them.
Now, where's Ziegler at now? Is he
He's playing
still?
in France.
Uh, 'Cause how many years before is it going to be before you think he's on the UT bench? You
Uh,
know it's going to happen.
yeah. I mean, he started for 3 years, and we've seen
But
him. We've loved him for 4 years, so it's gonna be rough not seeing him out there. I
we
hate.
had a we had a similar kid probably about 8 years ago. He, maybe 5'10". I mean, I'm mirror image of Ziggy. Guess where he's at now?
Where?
This is his first year on the Duke bench.
See, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if
It,
Kyle come back in some capacity at some point. Now he's playing now, he's doing great, I think over there. Uh, but yeah, I'd love to see him back,
he seems like a good kid, and he just seems like he'd be one of those kids that would want to mentor and
Hmm.
uh, coach.
I can
So
see that. Yeah, I can see that. Um, all right, Texas. Sean Miller is there. That's intriguing. Um, I don't understand why he doesn't get enough grief for not doing great in the tournaments. Like everybody that calls Rick Barnes regular season Rick, but what's Sean Miller done? Has he ever won anything? I don't.
So just gave a few little scares here and that,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
yeah, I mean nothing great, nothing to write home about, but
yeah. Trayvon Marks is back. They got Simeon Wilcher from St. John's. Brought some Xavier guys with him. Um, Yeah, I mean, I have them in the tournament. Some people don't. They're not ranked in the preseason. I think he's a good coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but I just, wonder why he doesn't get more grief for disappearing when it matters in March. Um, Texas A&M. This is going to be the most interesting thing to watch, I think. Buckyball. Bucky McMillan is there. It's crazy, discombobulated at times. Kind of reminds you of the Lady Vols of Kim's system. It does me at least. Um, Complete roster turnover. I think they returned one guy that played like a few minutes, and that's it. Uh, they're the sixth oldest team in the country on just, and they're all transfers. They brought in a lot of older guys. Which that would be good. That should be good for his system. Got more mature players. I have them as a possible, borderline tournament team. I don't think anybody else does, but I think it could work really well, or it could not work at all. But this first year, I think a lot of people are just going to be taken by surprise with it, and there'll be some people they shouldn't. And the last one I have is a bubble team, Vandy. They returned Tyler Nickel. Jalen Washington from UNC transferred there. They're the second oldest team in the SEC. Byington is a good coach, and I think they could be there. So that is my SEC breakdown. Yeah, I think we could get 8 or 9 teams in. I'm going to stick with that. Who do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Big Ten or Big East or Big 12? whichever one.
Let's go ahead and do the Big 12.
All right.
I'm still a little bitter at the Big 12 after last year, anyways. Go ahead and get it over with.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm still a little upset at Houston, but that was kind of our own fault. We had them. I was ready for a Duke and Florida matchup. I think size wise, just kind of mirror images of each other. But Houston's gonna be the team again. They've got their big trio back, and something kind of weird for Houston adding 5-star freshmen. That's something that's not been done down there a lot. He's always been kind of an Izzo type. Let's get them in here, develop them, which I think a lot of people is realizing you got two ways to go: transfer portal, 5-star freshman. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of developing players, especially in your big four conferences. If that's what your mid-major conferences are for. Uh, BYU is a team I think could scare a lot of people, which they're ranked pretty high, and there's a reason for that. I don't know if you've watched their freshman they got. He is unreal. He might be your number one pick in the draft next year. He looks like he should be playing for Houston, and that's gonna look weird him being at BYU. He's a big physical body. Richie Sanders, kind of a big score they got, and they've got a transfer from Baylor that I've followed for a few years just because of Cooper Flagg. He was high school teammates with Cooper, and that whole roster I've kind of followed. Most of them's already in the NBA. They all one and done. Robert Wright the third, I think he'll help BYU. Kind of what they was missing last year. He's a very quick up and down the court guard. They was more of a kind of run it at times, but we'd rather shoot. He's a kind of a penetrating and kick type guard, which he can finish at the rim. Then Texas Tech, JT Toppin, and he's our everything forward. He more than likely will be your player of the year in the Big 12. Arizona, Koa Pete, big time freshman recruit, and Jaden Bradley, kind of their star guard. He's not going to light you up points. He's going to do a little bit of everything, which they kind of got hit hard with the transfer portal, which Arizona keeps showing like that little glimpses of being there and staying there. We'll see this year. And once you get past that, next between 5 and 8, kind of question marks. Iowa State's kind of projected kind of high in their conference, defensive minded, which Big 12 that wins you ball games. I don't know. At some point, you got to score the ball. Kansas, this is weird. See what Kansas preseason ranking is what I was trying to find that 19.
Yeah.
That's kind of a slap in the face to Kansas. We'll see how they respond to that, which they are rebuilding, overhauling the roster. They did get a unreal 5-star freshman in Darren Peterson, and
Mm-hmm.
from what I've been reading, they're going to rely heavy on him.
Yeah.
Which that could be. That's kind of my sleeper team out of the Big 12. I'm not saying they'll win it, but they can make some noise by season's end. Which Kansas, he'll usually go and play anyone anywhere. He don't care
Yeah.
because this will be one of those years you get halfway through conference playing every conference. It would not surprise me to see a number one ranked team in the nation with 8 or 9 losses. That's how deep the country is this year. Baylor, they're rebuilding pretty much a full roster. You can't never count them out though. K State has kind of that last team that could possibly fight for a spot in the tournament. PJ Haggerty, Memphis transfer, is a scoring machine.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ended up with around a 21 point average last year. I read he had like 15 or 16 games with 25 or more. That's pretty impressive. And of course, the newcomer of the year in the Big 12 is the kid from BYU, Dabansta. He's tough, which I don't know if you'd watched their game against North Carolina so far. Best game of the year. They kind of beat on each other up and down the court. It was back and forth the whole time. Great game to watch.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't figure you would.
All right, is that everybody?
That's pretty much anybody that matters out of the Big 12.
So we haven't talked about the Big East yet, right?
No, we have not.
All right, I'll take that one. Lots of good coaches in this league. You know, you got Dan Hurley, you got Rick Pitino, Shaka, Ed Cooley. They scheduled pretty aggressively, and probably because they kind of had to. There's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity once conference play starts. Creighton is number 23. They made the tournament every year that Kalkbrenner was there, which I think he was there for 5 years. But he's gone. And Robbie Ashworth is gone. Tennessee fans will remember him. Um, and also Kalkbrenner, we got a little mad at because I think he won Defensive Player of the Year, and we thought it should be you know, take your pick from Tennessee's roster, but Jemai, and or Zakai, just he won it because he blocked everything that came in inside the lane. They got some transfers from some power conferences. Like I said, they scheduled aggressively. They play Gonzaga, Baylor, Iowa State, and Nebraska in their non-con. So they should be good. Georgetown, I've got them as a tournament team for sure. Georgetown, I've got in the tournament. An improved roster. Ed Cooley's a good coach. They got transfers from schools that kind of make sense. They played North Carolina, I think, in December. I've got them in Providence. So that's our old guy. Kim English is there. Surprisingly, they finished outside the top 100 for the past 2 years on defense, which is kind of weird. They don't really seem to have much of an identity. Like if you're not going to be good on defense, you got to be able to shoot and or vice versa. And I think if they can figure out who they are, and that's going to come from the coach, then they could be good. They spent some money on their roster. Um, they could be good. I've got them as a borderline tournament team. Marquette. One thing that I love about Shaka Smart's the same thing I love about Tom Izzo. In this, era when everybody's just piecing together, they really bank on developing their guys. He does not have a lot of transfers. He's never going to have a lot of transfers unless he just has to. He's got some returners, some freshmen. You know, I think uh, when he went to Texas, he didn't do wonderful, and so people started questioning him. I think Marquette's just a good fit for him. It's
Yeah,
can fly under the radar a little bit.
yeah, he seems like one of those coaches too. If somebody threw a punch at one of his players, he'd be the first to jump right in front of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, he seems like you'd want to play for him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And at Texas, he had a lot of injury. I feel like at Texas, he had injury.
Well, I'll go out and say this: Texas in most sports is usually a dumpster fire. It takes one little bad thing, and I mean, it's a rough fan base.
Yeah, well, I hate all of them. So, um, that's my public enemy number one in the SEC for me now is Texas. St. John's, I mean, he pretty much said everybody to leave, even though they were really good last year. Ejiofor, is still there, but they couldn't throw the ball in the ocean last year, and especially in the tournament, so he went out and got some shooters. Um, Ian Jackson is there from North Carolina. I think that's very interesting. A big loss for North Carolina, even though, you know, I wasn't surprised that he left. But yeah, I think that, but it's Rick Pitino. They're going to be good. Um,
Did they not get the kid from Arizona State too, the freshman last year? I
yeah, I
thought
think so. I think I've got that.
Say not say non.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, because he kind of had an interesting story last year. He came in, he kind of reclassified with Cooper Flag, and he had to stay an extra year of college because he was so young.
oh wow.
Yeah, he wasn't even because he was not able to declare for the draft after his freshman year because of his age.
Wow. They schedule good. They play Bama, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Baylor, and Iowa State. That's a tough non-con.
Patino will play anybody. And I think he made the comment when he took the job he would get some city kids, and that's what he said at Kentucky too. And first thing he brought in was Jamal Mashburn from the city, and he believes in city kids, and he's proven you've got to have them to win.
Yeah, yeah,
Tough kids.
yeah, for sure. They're five preseason. I think they'll probably be up there and somebody to watch, all season. UConn is four. I don't think there's a person on this planet that cheers for UConn besides or that does anything besides cheer against UConn besides their specific fans. I mean, I don't know how you could possibly like Dan Hurley. He's a complete jerk. But they're going to be good again. I mean, they've got a few players back from last year. And they added Silas Demery from Georgia, and he was really good for them.
Can you
Carabas,
imagine? Can you imagine the two times they? I'm sure they play St. John's twice. Could you imagine those two games this year?
yeah, they're gonna be good. There's
I because St. John's goes back and forth from their on-campus arena to Madison Square Garden. I'm sure that'll be a Madison Square Garden game.
I'm sure, yeah. Um, Scheduled hard: BYU, Arizona, Illinois, Florida, Texas, non-con. That's if they make it through that, and win. Of course, I think we're all. I hope they lose. I don't like them, but if they do, then of course, yeah, they'll be.
I like that. I like the other Hurley, just not that one.
Yeah. Villanova, I've got as a borderline tournament team. Complete roster turnover. Everybody's gone. They got some four-star freshmen and some up transfers. But do you remember Devin Askew?
The name sounds very familiar.
He's played at Kentucky, Texas, Cal, and Long Beach State, and now he is at Villanova. So he's just making his way around.
So did he play more than 1 year any place, or
I mean, he couldn't have. That's five schools in 5 years. I mean, he had to have maybe redshirted somewhere or something because I mean, COVID's over. Like, I don't know how he still would have any
well,
ability.
Nate James, when he was at Duke, I think he was a part of six ACC championship teams because he had two red shirts here. He red shirted. That's when they were still red shirting a lot of freshmen. Then
Mhm.
had a medical red shirt. And Jess Settles, that's a name from the past from Iowa. I I know he had at least 6 years at Iowa, and I'm pretty sure he played in five of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just at some point it's a you problem, when you're
Well, you all took our running back, and I know Star Thomas is on his what year of college football.
I don't know, but I love Star Thomas and he has an excellent name and he's my favorite player. Yeah. So we have the Big Ten left. I have a bunch of notes on it, but if you want to talk about them, you feel free. However you want to do it.
Well, it's Purdue's to win, and I don't know if you ever heard the comment. Larry Bird walked into a 3-point shootout. He was in one time. Said he walked in the locker room, looked around, and said, "Who's finishing second?" That's
Yeah.
kind of the way the Big Ten's looking. Purdue is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
Uh, Braden Smith, uh, probably your Big Ten Player of the Year. He's not going to
Goodness.
light you up. He's going to be one of those 14 to 15 point guys, but he may have 10 assists to go with that, four steals. He's unreal. Uh, Kaufman ran a scoring machine. Oscar Clough, another scoring machine. That's some big bodies to be trying to fight with.
And
Uh,
Fletcher Moyer's back too.
yeah, they're absolutely loaded. But I know they've made some runs. It's hard for me to get past. I mean, similar situation, Virginia. I mean, you got put out in the first round as a 16 seed several years ago. It's hard for me to overlook that still.
Hmm.
It's kind of some inner chuckling, I guess, but Purdue's the real deal.
I think they lost
Uh,
the two seed also, didn't they? Didn't they lose as a one
uh,
two seed?
yes, he's been crucified for some of his tournament performances as a coach.
Hmm.
Uh, he shows glimpses of like being a top notch coach, then it's like he just has I don't know, he just goes cloudy in the mind and loses focus. This year, I don't see anybody beating them in Big Ten. They'll lose some games, but as far as the win, it should be theirs. Michigan, uh, another uh, North Carolina boy that transferred, Elliot Cadeau. I think he could make a difference. I think it's a better fit for them because they've going to have some established scorers, and I think at times North Carolina last year leaned on him to score, and he's not a scorer. I mean, he's a legit true point guard.
But
UCLA got a good
sorry, let me get let's. You're talking about Michigan, right?
yes.
Um, they got a big guy from UAB, but I think they got some real questions in the backcourt. Like the Elliott Cadeau transfer was confusing to me because like they really needed to address their backcourt, and I don't know that they did. And I have one of their guys as an impact transfer. Uh, sorry, what's his name? Lindenborg, Yaxel Lindenborg. I've got him. It's I think it's interesting the way that Dusty May does with like with his post players. If you remember Danny Wolf last year, he'd bring the ball up the and he could shoot and all that stuff. So I think this guy's sort of similar in that. I'm gonna be asked to do similar things. But did they win? Did they win the Big Ten tournament last year?
Michigan, I believe they did because it was the last. Ended right before the selection show. The Big Ten always ends like right there, just a little bit before the selection show. I'm pretty sure they won it. Which you was talking about their bigs bringing the ball up. That's kind of a new thing that a lot of teams are doing. Which the NBA is starting to experiment with that a lot because you look at Luca.
Mm-hmm.
He's known for that, and the Cooper Flag experiment right now in Dallas. Of course, Kyrie's out for a while, and he is their listed starting point guard.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams are starting to do that, which I think Elliot Cadeau he'll have a better fit at Michigan than he did at North Carolina.
Yeah.
Uh, UCLA they've got a good scoring dent, over 20 a game last year. And here's the scary thing about the Big Ten: Michigan State. All the research I've done, no Big Ten selections from any of their players. That could be a scary Tom Izzo team. Uh,
Yeah.
they're they're old, physical, and they're always battle tested non-conference. He will play anyone anywhere. He don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
and we
they're going
say
to be in the tournament because he's never
yes,
not made the tournament. So,
and we have this discussion every year. Uh, they'll make a run in March.
yeah,
It
yeah,
always happen. He'll go in with 15 losses, squeak by somehow to get in, and before
yeah,
you know it, they're in Sweet 16, Elite Eight.
yeah.
Oregon, a lot of people's got them projected pretty high. Illinois could be a scary team.
Hey,
Uh,
let me back up just for a second. Oregon has a 6'4" Chinese point guard. 6'4".
I,
Wei Lin. Wei Lin. That's going to be interesting. He's supposed to be good. But
well, do you remember Lynn Sanity? Uh,
mm, yeah,
God, that's probably been what? How many decades ago now?
it's been probably about 15 or 20 years, I would say.
Yeah, that just came out of the blue, and I mean, he kind of well, you look at Yao Ming. I mean, he did what Dream Team did for basketball in general. He took it to a whole new level in China,
Yeah,
and in the Asian countries, and everyone over there plays basketball now. Illinois could be scary.
yeah,
If Isaac 7-1 pick and pop, I don't care how slow or bad someone is. If you're 7-1 pick and pop, that's scary. Hard to guard. Then they've got probably what I would say is the top newcomer to the conference, which he'll be a sophomore, Andre Stokovich, which is the son of former NBA great Page. Uh, we was in the running. We went after him after he announced he was transferring. He's a big wing, 6'7". He can flat out shoot, and he's not a lazy player. He does work to get open. Always moving up ball, and he's a pretty solid defender as well. You get past Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, kind of mirror images. They're going to be those slow it down type teams. We like to play defense, grind it out, which that's fine. But I go back to what I always say: at some point, you got to score,
yeah.
especially in today's game. I think once you get past Wisconsin, that's probably, I say Big Ten's probably 8 teams in. They may be a ninth, surprise someone, but uh, I think your player of the year is probably Smith from Purdue, and like I said, newcomer of the year in the conference will be Sahakovich.
Mhm.
Sleeper,
I'm gonna disagree with you
uh,
there. I think it could be Donovan Dent.
yeah, I mean it could.
I think UCLA's, I mean, their coach is such a jerk, but I think they're going to be really good. And Eric Musselman's at USC. He's had back-to-back losing seasons, I think I read, but um, he's a good coach. We know he's a good coach. He was at
What
Arkansas.
the thing about the Big Ten though, I don't know, they're kind of like Heisman voting when it comes to player of the years. If you're not on a top like the top team, you usually get punished.
Mm.
Uh, they've traditionally their player of the years. I mean, going back to the Purdue days when you had Glenn Robinson, and of course the Indiana days. I mean, there's a reason you had so many Indiana guys getting conference player of the year back then. They was always number one. Uh, the sleeper player, I think, is my guy from Illinois, the big pick and pop guy. I love watching guys like that. I watch a lot of NBA ball, and that's all you see now, pick and pop. Sleeper team, which I don't know if you'd call them a sleeper team, definitely Illinois. They could scare some people, make some noise. If they get the right tournaments, are about matchups as well. If you get the wrong matchup, you're hurt, but it's all about matchups and luck too.
Well, I don't know where they're picked to finish in the Big Ten, but they're not ranked in the preseason top 25. The only thing I can say about Illinois is besides Boswell, like good luck to their announcer because everybody on their team is from a different country. There's a lot of VIC spellings and all that stuff. They're big, they're old, and they're mainly white, and they can shoot. So it's going to be interesting. I think that could be good. Another interesting team in the Big Ten is, Buzz Williams is at Maryland, so that'll be interesting. He brought some A&M guys with him. They're going to be rough, and they're going to rebound the crap out of the ball, especially on the offensive end. So that's interesting.
Well, him being at Maryland, I don't know. It's almost like having Gary Williams back at Maryland. I always said if Coach K ever retired when he was still coaching or just left, Gary Williams and Tommy Izzo been the two outside coaches I would have welcomed in, which what I think don't matter anyways. But they'd been two coaches I would have welcomed in. Gary Williams, he was probably a sweatier coach than Bruce Pearl, but he gave it everything, and that's similar to Buzz Williams, which he was a pain in our hide when he was at Virginia Tech. He had our number every year, no matter how many 5 stars we had, how many returning juniors, seniors we had. He gave us trouble, and he'll be scary because he'll probably be able. The Northeast has a lot of basketball talent, and he'll be able to recruit it well.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's everybody at the power conferences, right?
Yeah.
Do you wanna highlight any smaller conferences? People to
So I don't know if it's so much teams that I don't think you'll have a lot of upsets in the tournament outside your power 4 or 5 conferences. They may be a few here and there, but there's a couple conference races I'll be watching. The American East, which anyone that knows me close knows I'm a closet Vermont fan. Uh, Sarah, probably, I don't know how many years it's been. I was bored one Saturday tournament. It was their conference tournament. They had a kid named Taylor Coppenrath absolutely lighting it up. And that's the same year they upset Syracuse in the tournament. Since then, I've kind of followed them. They win the conference every year. One cool thing about the American East Conference, too, they play their conference tournament at higher seed sites. So that's pretty cool. But they will be a lot of attention on that conference this year because Maine is kind of projected to finish second, and you know who's at Maine this year, don't you?
Mm-mm.
The twin brother of Cooper Flag.
Oh.
He's not as good as Cooper, but I mean, he's really not even close. He's more of a perimeter only player, but he'll have a lot of eyes on him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, seems to be a good kid, a very likable kid, just like Cooper was. Uh, I got you that conference for Gonzaga. I had it wrote down here. It's the West Coast.
Yeah.
The Gonzaga St. Mary's race.
Yeah.
It's unreal every year. That's them and St. Mary's, similar to Duke, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky. They absolutely hate each other,
Yeah.
and every player from players 1 through 12 leads it. I mean, they put it all out there when they play. Then the A-Sun, Lipscomb, that's projected to win that. There's a newer team, Queens College, out of the Charlotte area. I've started kind of following them because they was the team that kept knocking LMU out of the NCAA tournament up our way.
Oh
So
yeah.
I kind of started following them. I think this is maybe their third year in D1, which Duke's played them a couple times exhibition games. They hold their own.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I don't I think that the Big South is kind of interesting because they have a couple of teams at the top that like spend like crazy, and then nobody else seems like they can really compete with them money wise. They get a lot of kids that transfer down there because I mean they could pay them. Like High Point and Radford spend a lot of money. UNC Asheville, I think, should be really good. This is way off subject, but it just hit me. Do you know that Seton Hall spent $1.5 million on their roster, and that's it?
I mean, it's
That's
Seton
crazy.
Hall.
I know, but that's crazy. They have to have money. I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, it's a historic team.
Have you ever seen? I've not personally been to it. Have you seen their campus?
No.
It's similar to what a high school campus would be. It's a smaller university, which they came to fame with the old Big East. That at one point was what your SEC Big 12 are now. Every team in the Big East made tournament, made runs. I think there's 1 or 2 years Big East teams played for the national championship. I mean, that's how Seton Hall got up there.
Yeah. I just thought that was like I don't even know because they actually got some people to transfer in. Like they did, and I don't know how because with the way everybody you got to pay them so much. Like I don't even know how you spend 1.5 million. I don't know. That's just wild to me. But anyway,
But this is a touchy subject. Maybe they like to gamble because you know where Seton Hall's at. I mean, it's New Jersey,
yeah, that's true. It's a good point. It's a good point.
and there seems to be a case of that going around again in the NBA. So, if the NBA's caught some people, there's probably collegiate guys doing it
Oh
too.
yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go. I'm gonna give you my five impact transfers, and you can give me yours. I have Donovan Dent. I think that's gonna be an important one. Jacoby Gillespie, of course, at the University of Tennessee. Yaxel Lindenborg at Michigan. Is it Michael or Michael Brown at Louisville? And then I did a combination Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee at Florida because I don't know both. I think both of them are, or neither one of them. So yeah, that's my five.
Oh, my five, which I have one of the same. I think Gillespie will be huge for Tennessee. Like I said, give them the green light. Henry Vesser at Carolina. Carolina needed bigs. It was amazing. Like last year, you could probably, I don't know what North Carolina's high school classification goes up to in basketball. Say if it's 5'8", you could probably find a lot of 5'8" teams that were bigger than them. I mean, it was sad how little they were. He'll be a difference maker. Robert Wright the third at BYU. I think he might be the missing piece to what they were trying to do last year. Andre Stalkovich, Illinois. I mean, I love Peja. I love Andre. Knockdown shooter. He hustles, plays good D. And then PJ Haggerty at K State.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I think it's more fun to watch guys that can score than to watch guys that play defense only.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. We got two completely different lists pretty much. So yeah, we'll see.
And one guy I didn't mention, he's transferred last year. He'll have probably a lot of attention on Robbie Avila. He
The
Indiana State a couple years ago. He's at St. Louis now, and he's picked to win their conference player of the year. So there'll be a kind of a back to the sleeper stuff. There'll be a sleeper guy I'll be watching, rooting for. He's very fun to watch. Just he looks like he should be on a tractor.
yeah, yeah. New coaches. I think we have probably similar ones here. Will Wade, Bucky McMillan, Ron Odom, uh, Lucas at Miami, and this one it might be different. I think it's interesting. Richard Pitino being at Xavier, he's going to have to coach against his dad in conference.
Yeah, that is interest. Which I got Sean Miller on my list. I think that'll be
Oh yeah.
interesting to see how he does.
Yeah.
Buzz Williams.
Mm,
I don't think he'll be this year. Next year, he'll by tournament time he'll have him ready to go. I think it might be a little too late for him. This one, I'm not saying he's going to do well, but I think he'll have more eyes on him than anyone, Stephen Pearl. Uh, it's
yeah.
big shoes to follow. Of course, a lot of people question why Bruce stepped down, and I mean, it is kind of funny that someone just rode right into the position. Usually in a situation like that, which I always use Duke as example. Kay had a coach in waiting, similar situation, but Kay also gave some notice, a year's notice. You know, he was finishing up. I don't think the situation at Virginia last year was as shady as what this seems. I think Tony Bentman is just absolutely over it.
Hmm.
I think you're going to eventually see a lot of the older school coaches get out just because of the NIL.
Yeah.
Uh, that's one thing that's going to end up getting Hubert Davis. Well, it about did until they hired a general manager. He was so old school. I mean, those days are gone.
Hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think Stephen Pearl's going to have more eyes on him than any of the new coaches.
Yeah.
Because normally a lot you come into a new program, you don't have a get out of jail free card for a year. Then by year two, in today's time, you better start producing. I think every one of these coaches will be producing by year two at least.
Yeah. Who are your player of the year candidates, people to watch for?
Smith from Purdue, JT Toppin from Texas Tech, Cam Boozer from Duke, uh, the Codon from Florida, then Demansta from BYU. Which that's what two freshmen. That's a lot better than normal. Seems like we have at least three freshmen in the mix. Which I'm not saying they won't be another freshman step up, but I think Boozer's just the real deal. After seeing him in person, complete NBA body already.
Yeah. that's pretty much the same list that I have, but I have Uwe from Kentucky. I mean, I hate to put him on there, but he's good. And then I had to pick a UConn player. I didn't know Caravan or Soa Ball. I probably should have picked Caravan, but I think that UConn's going to be really good. And so usually the best player on the best team or a top five team, gets player of the year recognition. So yeah, that's who I went with. But I had Boozer, Braden Smith, and JT Toppin also. So yeah, I think all three of those teams. Who's your final four?
As of right now, before season starts, which thank God tomorrow night we pretty much have college basketball back. I'm waiting for Tuesday night, but I'm gonna watch a lot of basketball tomorrow night. BYU, Houston, Florida, and Purdue will be my four picks right now.
I have Purdue, St. John's, Duke. And Kentucky. I mean, they just spent so much money. I hated to put Kentucky on there, but yeah, I should have put Houston. I don't know why I didn't put Houston. I
I
don't,
would
Florida probably will be, I'm sure. Just like I didn't want to put them in there, but yeah.
I would definitely have St. John's at that fifth like tier, that second tier. Which I'm not saying they couldn't beat any one of these teams, but I think as far as depth, all four of these teams, I mean, they're unmatched.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that should just about wrap it up. I don't know how long we've been on here, but yeah. I think between both of our notes, we probably could have talked for 3 or 4 hours about this. So I think we've did better than that. So that's good. But
I got one question before you jump off here.
okay.
Are you going to become a San Francisco Giants fan now?
Yeah, I am actually. 100%.
I'm so tickled that you're like getting into Major League Baseball now.
I know. I really, here's what is kind of funny. There have been two periods where I've really got into the World Series, and both times the Dodgers were in it. Remember when the Dodgers had the guy with the beard? It's been like 15
Hmm.
years ago now. I really got into the World Series. And so I'm wondering if I'm just a Dodgers fan, if maybe I just need to embrace it. I can't be now because Tony V's, out there at San Francisco, but I kind of wonder if I'm just not a Dodgers fan. I don't know.
Well, I hate rooting for a super team,
Mm,
but I mean, I don't care if like the Taliban was playing the Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays. I'd have a decision to make.
right, yeah. Well,
But
for any Tennessee fan, hopefully, probably if you're listening to this, you are a Tennessee fan, and you didn't know this. Mookie Betts was committed to play at the University of Tennessee. Of course, went pro instead, which was obviously the right choice. But he was going to be a Vol. Yeah. And then I don't know how, Shohei's just so unreal. Like he's so good. And then,
you know, they always say a generational talent. I mean, that's more than a generational talent. I mean, stuff like this not been seen since like Babe Ruth. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing what he does.
yeah,
And this is the right era to be watching because you've got Otani, Judge, which I hate the Yankees, but Judge is a generational talent. You still got Mike Trout. And I mean, you could even argue if Bryce Harper's showed glimpses. I mean, you usually don't have that many players in like one era that
mm,
you could throw them out there in the top 25 players ever.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. The play to force game 7 was just unreal. Like that was unreal. I mean, they had what, two on, no outs?
Yes.
That was wild. But all right, George. Well, I guess that's about it. If you want to, we'll plan on talking towards the end of DonCon and see how correct we've been on things so far. And yeah,
What's your loss prediction for Tennessee?
I just don't know. I just don't know. We got so many questions. I think we're going to be good. Okay, I think we're going to be good. Um, I don't know. I'm not making that prediction because every time I do things like that, sometimes they come true, and I'm always negative, so I don't even want to put that bad juju on our team.
I say Duke sitting probably 8 losses. I mean, if we're around 8 losses, I'm tickled. One more question before you go. Who's your favorite Duke player of all time? You've got to have a favorite.
Mike Dunleavy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you my favorite Tennessee player of all time. By far, without a shadow of doubt, Allen Houston.
Yeah, I can.
Love him. It kind of sucks. He had his dad coaching for him and never could really make. They never. I don't think he never made the NCAA tournament, but
I think so.
had a pretty long NBA career. But yeah, loved him.
Well, I was a closet Duke fan there for a little while. In my defense, though, and to your point, um, you had to find a different team to cheer for in March for a long time, you know. So I got on the Duke train for a little while. I've always loved Izzo, so regardless, then, now, always, I hope we never have to play Izzo in March because I always cheer for him, because he's just such a good guy, and he does
How do
things
you
the
think
right
I
way.
feel? We play Izzo every other year in the tournament. I always run into him, and you know my home situation.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah,
uh,
my wife sure lets me know when she wakes up and checks the score when she didn't even watch the game. When Michigan State beats Duke, yeah, that's the first thing I hear.
yeah, yeah. All right, well. I'm gonna jump off here, man. Thanks for coming on. It's been fun. I appreciate you. And everybody at home listening, watching, thank you. Uh, like I said, like, subscribe, or don't, doesn't matter. We just do this for fun. We would have been probably sitting here talking about the top 25 even if the cameras weren't on. So,
That's pretty much all we talk about anyway. So,
yeah. All right, brother. Well, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
very good.
All right.